And now, the man who was drafted 10th overall by the Vancouver Canucks in the NHL draft. In Wee Hockey, Dakota Case.
How you doing, Nate?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. So now I suppose you've had some time here to just kind of sit back and just digest this whole season here after the Game 5 loss to Chicago.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a good, relaxing week or two now. Just been able to kind of sit back and enjoy the family and enjoy the summer here a little bit and kind of get ready to start training again.
Yeah. So what is your training routine then?
I started working out in the mornings and skating a little bit, and maybe try skating once or twice a week right now, and then that gradually picks up as the summer goes on, and obviously working out every day, Monday through Friday, and just try to stay as fit as possible, and be ready once camp comes around in September.
There you go. So, quick question for you here. Well, I suppose that's what a radio interview is for. You ask questions and you hope to get good answers, and I know you're always good about that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking here. What has been your impression of this team compared to last year's team? You guys were first in the league all the way up until December. And then it seemed like the wheels fell off the wagon there. But this year, I mean, you added some guys, and I guess from a fan's perspective and a writer's perspective, it certainly looked like things are definitely on the right track.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely had a lot of new faces and a lot of leaders. Guys like Parisi and Suter and Palmenville and Rupp and Mitchell and Knopf, guys like that are really good team guys and good locker room guys to have around, and they added a lot of depth and a lot of leadership to our team, and you could tell just by the way they worked in practices day in and day out that we had a new mentality this year, and the bar was raised, and you could tell this guy kind of by the way everyone competed night in and night out.
Now you played just a little bit under Todd Richards, and you've played both with the Arrows and of course the Wild there under Mike Yeo. What is that difference in coaching style? What has Yeo brought to the table that has really enhanced your game and has really enhanced this Minnesota Wild franchise?
I think just the systems he brought in, making sure we get that puck north and get it to our forward escape as quick as possible, and get it behind their D-men, and try to play as much offensive zone time as you can. And obviously that's a good game plan to have, is to be in offensive zone as much as possible. And he really was able to develop my game and being more of a shutdown defenseman, and being able to be out there against any opposing team's top line and being able to.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that you just played 17 games in this season. However, boy, was it fun watching you play. I mean, you're a very gritty defenseman, a very, very solid stay-at-home defenseman. I think you were on the ice for just 2 goals against, something like that?
Yeah. One foul 5 and one penalty kill.
I'll tell you what, it seems like the stay-at-home defensemen are the ones. I mean, they're just the unsung heroes of the NHL, and it has just been so much fun watching you play that role, and definitely helping out the team in that way. I mean, you were a +4, had just 4 penalty minutes. 5 shots, but those. I have a special place in my heart for those shutdown defensemen.
Yeah, thanks. Like I said, I want to be able to go out there, whether it's the team's, first line or fourth line. I want to be able to go out there and, play gritty, play physical, in front of our net and in the corners, and, be hard to play against. I want those guys to, get pissed off at the way I play, and make sure I don't get scored on. That's the main thing in my game is be a prick and not get scored on, and that's kind of my goal. When I go into games.
Yeah, and I see that every time you take the ice. That's just so much fun to watch. Speaking of the Minnesota Wild's defensive core there, what have been your impressions of a Mr. Jonas Brodin?
Yeah, he's young, great, great feet, great vision. Is able to make that first pass, so unbelievable. Just being able to watch him and go retrieve a puck and get it into our forwards on their tape as quick as possible. It's pretty amazing.
And the youngest defenseman in the league at age 19. I mean, I remember, and I hate to say this, I really truly do, but I remember listening to the 2011 draft on my computer, and I heard that we had drafted a defenseman from Sweden who was described by the NHL broadcasters as not physical or offensive whatsoever, and I shut it off. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I think he was quite possibly the steal of 2011.
Yeah, he's able to play a lot of minutes in a lot of key areas, and I thought just over the year he gained more and more confidence and was able, he played better as the year went on.
Mm-hmm. What are your impressions of Matt Dumba? I know he hasn't played a game yet, but he's played in preseason in the scrimmages. Is he as advertised as well?
Yeah, he's a physical defenseman that has a good shot, and he'll be able to play in a lot of situations as well. I mean, he's can move the puck well and doesn't make too many mistakes. And like I said, he can be physical and hit hard.
That's one of my favorite things. Every once in a while, if I need a good laugh, I'll just go on YouTube and look up Dumba Train, and
yeah.
My goodness, what a hit! But
yeah,
I believe it was before Game 4, they had you actually taking massive hits on Jason Pominville. And
mm-hmm.
What was going through your mind there? I mean, knowing what Minnesota gave up to get him, and I mean, he was already a little bit, probably not 100%. I mean, what was going through your mind is, you were, quite frankly, hammering him into the boards.
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking to him, making sure I'm not hitting him too hard. I didn't want to, hurt him anymore or anything, but, just making sure he was ready to go for the game that night.
Yeah. I suppose that's definitely important there, and I was actually at Game 3, and what an atmosphere! I mean, the first home playoff game in 5 years for the Minnesota Wild, and I'll tell you what, just the atmosphere there was intense. It was
it was pretty incredible. Just they came out in full support, and that's so. I mean, great atmosphere. It was guys really fed off it. It looked like it, and we had a good first period, and that you could really tell that we were feeding off the fans, and
mm-hmm.
Whenever there's a big hit or a nice play, they're on their feet.
Yeah. Well, also you were on the Sioux Falls Stampede team that won the Anderson Trophy, and that experience had to have been just incredible for you. The Sioux Falls Stampede actually lost here in the Western Conference Finals to the Fargo Force, and then the Force were swept by Dubuque, and Dubuque won the championship. I know the boys took it real hard. They felt, I was talking with them, and they definitely felt like they could have gone in there and given Dubuque a real challenge. What's your advice for guys like that have come so close but have fallen short? I mean, you guys won the Anderson Cup, but ultimately didn't get the Clark Cup there. What would you say to those guys that are just a little disheartened?
Yeah, we actually, the year we won the Anderson Cup, we went to the Clark Cup Finals, and we lost in Game 5, and, it was pretty heartbreaking. That was a great experience for all of us. That was honestly the best year I've ever had. Just remember those memories and, the teammates that you had, because, those guys are your buddies for life. And I still talk to all of those guys still today, and, that was the most tight-knit group I've ever been a part of. And, juniors is a special time for a lot of people. And, first time away from, your family and friends, and to get away and be with, random guys that, you kind of got to meet right away and get to know them, and it's truly a fun time, and I miss those days. And I would just say, just keep your head up and, move forward, and, obviously come back next year with a vengeance to win it next year.
Absolutely. Any fun plans here for the off season?
Not too much going on. Well, we live up here in Minnesota over the summer, and just able to get out and play some golf and get to my wife's cabin and that kind of stuff. So it'll be a fun summer.
So, I mean, you live in Minnesota. I would assume fishing would be part of it?
A little bit. You'd think I would do more, but I'm not a huge fisher hunter.
Oh.
I know.
The land of 10,000 lakes, Nate.
I know.
Oh, that breaks my heart. Well, I got one more question here for you. Your favorite Zenon Konopka memory?
Oh man, I probably just the first time I met him, and hearing him in the locker room every day has just been a treat. He's a great team guy, and just the quotes he brings every day, and he's just a goofy guy. I mean, he has a rabbit as a pet. I mean, that just tells you enough right there.
So did Brodeen ever get him his coffee?
Yeah, every day he made sure the rookies took care of him. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. That's good that the rookies getting some things right there.
Yeah.
Well, Nate, it's just always a pleasure here having you on, and I just want to thank you so much for coming on, and best of luck going into next season.
Thanks a lot.
All right, take care, Nate. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bye. And that was Nate Prosser, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a short break here. You are listening to The Power Play, Hockey Talk Radio, here on KCFS 94.5 FM. Don't go away. We've got a lot more hockey action coming up next.
NHL Network, don't panic. Your show prep will continue after this break.